Brock Lesnar is truly a beast. He's one of the most popular WWE superstars of all time, and his sheer size and strength have helped him become one of the most dominant wrestlers in history. Despite the recent doping scandal, Lesnar has proved himself to be a real competitor in the UFC as well. As one of the biggest names in both MMA and wrestling, along with the fact his big SummerSlam match with Randy Orton is this Sunday, here is wrestling origins, Brock Lesnar. Lesnar was born in Webster, South Dakota on July 12, 1977. He was raised on a dairy farm by his parents, along with his two older brothers and younger sister. He was an athlete from the very beginning, using his rural surroundings as a jungle gym of sorts. He was a very active child, regularly helping on the farm, and he actually began amateur wrestling at just 5 years old. At age 17, Brock joined the National Guard, where he was relegated to a desk job after his color blindness was deemed a liability. After he lost his job there for failing a typing test, Lesnar worked in construction. Around the same age, Lesnar attended Webster High School. There he would play football and compete in amateur wrestling. Lesnar would finish his high school career with a 33-0 record in his senior year, and 2 South Dakota state titles. From there, Lesnar would attend Bismarck State College, where he won the National Junior College Athletic Association Heavyweight Wrestling Championship in 1998, and would soon after transfer to the University of Minnesota. He went there on a full wrestling scholarship, and would continue his amateur wrestling career. Brock would amass quite the record, and even won the NCAA Division I Heavyweight Wrestling Championship in 2000. By the time Lesnar graduated, he was a 2-time NJCAA All-American, the 1998 NJCAA Heavyweight Champion, 2-time NCAA All-American, 2-time Big Ten Conference Champion, and the 2000 NCAA Heavyweight Champion with the resulting 106-5 record. Immediately following college, Brock Lesnar was headhunted by WWE. The company convinced Brock to sign with them, despite him not knowing anything about the industry. Brock said that he mainly took the WWE offer because he was young and wanted the money. Lesnar would be sent to WWE's developmental territory, Ohio Valley Wrestling, where he would meet Paul Heyman. Lesnar also formed a tag team with his college roommate, Shelton Benjamin, called the Minnesota Stretching Crew. The pair would win the OVW Southern Tag Team Championships 3 times during his short time there. Brock also worked matches with guys like Batista down in OVW. If you didn't know, the infamous OVW class of 2002 had quite a few future stars in it, such as John Cena, Randy Orton, Batista, and of course Brock Lesnar. Over the course of 2 years, Lesnar would develop as a pro wrestler, and even worked a couple dark matches before his debut. Speaking of his WWE debut, Lesnar would make his first televised appearance for WWE on March 18, 2002, on Raw. Brock would make his way through the crowd before attacking Al Snow, Maven, and Spike Dudley. Lesnar was immediately paired with Paul Heyman, who could be seen giving Brock instructions on what to do. Lesnar's presence in WWE would become more official when the brand extension had him drafted to Raw, along with Paul Heyman, who dubbed him the next big thing. His first feud would be with the Hardy Boys. Lesnar would defeat Jeff Hardy in his first televised match at Backlash, where he won via knockout. He would do the same thing to Matt Hardy the next night on Raw. The Hardys would continue the feud and had their moments, but were for the most part obliterated by Lesnar. Moving ahead a bit to June of 2002, Lesnar would win the King of the Ring tournament, which earned him a shot at the WWE Undisputed Championship at SummerSlam. Before that match, Brock moved over to SmackDown where he would have a quick feud with Hulk Hogan, which he won. At SummerSlam, Brock Lesnar would defeat the WWE Undisputed Champion The Rock to win the belt. He became the youngest WWE Champion at age 25, a record he took from The Rock as well. Since this belt was the top title in WWE, it was expected that Lesnar would be on Raw the next night, but SmackDown GM Stephanie McMahon declared he would only defend his belt on her brand. For that reason, the title was renamed to the WWE Championship, while another was created for Raw. Next, Lesnar would feud with The Undertaker, where the two would battle to a double disqualification at Unforgiven. They would face off again in a Hell in a Cell match, a match that was one of the bloodiest of the night. Lesnar would retain the title once again. His next feud was against The Big Show, where after Paul Heyman betrayed him, Lesnar lost the title. This would lead to Lesnar aligning himself with Kurt Angle, helping Angle win the WWE title from Big Show. However, Kurt would reveal that he played Lesnar as well, as his new manager was Paul Heyman. This set up a Lesnar vs Angle match at WrestleMania 19, where Brock infamously botched a shooting star press, nearly breaking his neck. However, he would be able to finish the match and win the WWE Championship once again. From there, Lesnar would turn to John Cena, who had been taken out of action by an F5 into a ring post. This feud would culminate at Backlash 2003, where Cena was defeated. Lesnar's next feud would be with The Big Show again. This time it would be memorable for the awesome superplex that broke the ring on SmackDown. During the same time, Lesnar and Angle would actually become friends and had a friendly rivalry. This led to a triple threat match at Vengeance, where Kurt Angle emerged victorious. Lesnar would then get involved with Vince McMahon and his feud with Zach Gowen, the one-legged wrestler. McMahon eventually had a match with Lesnar where Brock passed out due to a previous backstage incident, but Kurt, the guest referee, didn't want Vince to win like that. However, this turned out to be a trick, as Lesnar would surprisingly rise to his feet to brutally attack Angle, turning heel in the process. This rivalry would continue through SummerSlam, where Lesnar tapped out to Angle, all the way to September 18, 2003, where on SmackDown, Lesnar defeated Angle in a 60-minute Iron Man match to win the belt. From there, Lesnar would once again align himself with Paul Heyman after a feud with The Undertaker, where Brock retained his title in a biker chain match. Soon, Lesnar and his team would face Angle and his at Survivor Series, where Lesnar was forced to submit by Chris Benoit. Brock would get revenge 2 weeks later by making Benoit tap out to the Brock Lock. Though the two seemed to have a friendly rivalry at first, Brock Lesnar would go on to attack Goldberg during the 2004 Royal Rumble. This attack would cost Lesnar, as Goldberg would then interfere in his match against Eddie Guerrero, causing him to drop the title. This led to a match at WrestleMania 20 between Lesnar and Goldberg, a true clash of the titans, and to top it off, Stone Cold was the guest referee. Now it could have been a great match, as ruined by the fact both men were set to leave WWE after WrestleMania. Goldberg had a ton of issues with WWE, and rumors began circling that Brock wanted to leave the company to pursue a football career in the NFL. Turns out, the rumors were true. The headlining match at WrestleMania 20 was not only a terrible match that didn't live up to the hype, but fans were absolutely livid and weren't afraid to show it. Lesnar would take the loss at WrestleMania, then proceed to leave WWE. Lesnar would have a brief stint in the NFL, having a great showing at the NFL Combine. After a slight delay due to injury, Brock signed with the Minnesota Vikings in July of 2004 and would play a few preseason games with the team, but was released at the end of August. Skipping forward a bit, Brock Lesnar was involved in a contract dispute with WWE regarding his non-compete clause. Brock wanted to wrestle for New Japan in 2005, but his contract wouldn't allow him to do so until 2010. The two parties would try to settle the issue, but couldn't come to an agreement. Brock didn't care though, as he ended up joining New Japan and won the IWGP Championship on October 8, 2005. With the legal battle ensuing in the background, Lesnar continued to reign as champion in Japan. He would have a notable match against Shinsuke Nakamura in January of 2006 after defeating other notable opponents as well. He'd also defend his belt against Giant Bernard in May of 2006. However, Lesnar's reign was cut short as he was stripped of the title due to visa issues, which wouldn't allow him to work in Japan. Interestingly enough, Lesnar still held on to the physical IWGP Championship belt until June of 2007. Antonio Inoki billed Lesnar as the proper IWGP Champion and had him defend it against Kurt Angle, to who he lost the belt. In regards to that lawsuit, Lesnar's case was heavily favored in the courts, which led to a settlement in late 2006. Starting in mid-2006, Lesnar would start training as a mixed martial artist. He would have a single fight in K1 before being signed by the UFC, where he would quickly become one of the most dominant heavyweights the sport had ever seen. He would become UFC heavyweight champion and defeat legendary competitors such as Randy Couture and Frank Mir before leaving the UFC officially in 2012, when he signed back with WWE after medical issues among other reasons kept him out of the octagon. Lesnar's WWE return took place in April of 2012, where he instantly began a feud with John Cena. This time around, his character had a heavy MMA influence as he combined lots of strikes with submissions such as the infamous Kimura, which broke Triple H's arm in the storyline. After he decimated John Cena, he began a feud with Triple H, with Paul Heyman at his side once again. Brock's WWE contract had him working part-time, thus he rarely made appearances on regular television. Brock defeated Triple H at SummerSlam in 2012, but would lose to him at WrestleMania 29. This feud would conclude with Lesnar emerging victorious in a steel cage match at Extreme Rules. Following that, Lesnar would attack CM Punk on behalf of Paul Heyman. Lesnar would defeat Punk at SummerSlam in a no disqualification match. From there, Lesnar would have a notable feud with Big Show before challenging The Undertaker to a match at WrestleMania 30. In one of the most shocking outcomes in wrestling history, Brock Lesnar defeated The Undertaker, ending his legendary WrestleMania streak. After that, the Beast Incarnate would defeat John Cena at SummerSlam to win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship after delivering 16 suplexes. Lesnar would retain this championship in the rematch, as well as in a triple threat match featuring Cena and Seth Rollins. He would face Roman Reigns, the Royal Rumble winner, at WrestleMania 31. Here, Lesnar would really cement the Suplex City catchphrase by yelling it throughout the match. After both men beat down on each other and were nearly finished, Seth Rollins cashed in his Money in the Bank contract and won the title. The next little while was quiet until Lesnar faced Rollins for the championship at Battleground, where The Undertaker returned and took Lesnar out. This led to a rematch between the two, where Undertaker would controversially win after the match was restarted and Lesnar suffered a low blow. The two would end the rivalry at Hell in a Cell, where Lesnar convincingly defeated the Deadman. Since then, Brock has been involved in a notable triple threat match against Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, as well as a street fight against Ambrose at WrestleMania 32. Most recently, Brock Lesnar fought at UFC 200 on July 9th, where he failed multiple drug tests after the event, and is also set to face the Viper Randy Orton at SummerSlam 2016. And that's Wrestling Origins, Brock Lesnar. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, maybe leave a like and consider subscribing. Also, be sure to hit up Wrestling Hub on Twitter to suggest superstars for future Wrestling Origins videos. The link is in the description. As always, thanks for watching.